Harry's tour of infamy to promote his leaked Meurtre spear hasn't even begun, and we already have solid body language clues, as you're about to find out. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. But before we begin, I want to mention that this week I uploaded a free therapy session to my locals community to connect with your unconscious mind. You know that your conscious mind is the source for many of the answers that you're looking for and don't find anywhere else. So to connect better with your unconscious mind, I've developed this free therapy that you can access just by joining to my locals community as a member for free using the link in the description of this video. And this is from the Tom Bradby interview where he talks about, well, the drug use and, not hitting William. Let's see.
What was different here was this level of frustration. And I talk about the red mist that I had for so many years, and I saw this red mist in him.
So he's talking about the confrontation with William, and we can spot a couple things here. First, that he uses his right hand to express himself, but the left one is still between his legs. Remember that the left side of our bodies is much more emotional, much more sincere. So I think he was quite defensive at that moment, especially recalling this event, this argument with William. And what happens next? That he rubs his nose when he talks about the red mist, the anger, the contained anger that he had so many years, and he was talking about that with William. And well, that nose rub, he also did this nose rubs with Anderson Cooper, you might remember. And he also has red eyes in this interview. So, well, either he's got a runny nose or the flu or something, or, well, he also talks about drug use later. So make of that what you will. At some point of recalling the event, he raises his eyebrows like this. That is something that we do when we want to create an empathy bridge, to connect with the other person, to create rapport, so they believe or, are invested in our story. I don't know if Harry is doing it on purpose or it's spontaneous. You know that you need many body language clues to reach a conclusion, so we can keep looking until we find this. Right at the end of those remarks that he says, and I saw this red mist in him. He saw this anger in William too. The screen begins to fade, but at this moment, I did a coloring, lighting of this frame that is white black, and he was sticking his tongue out. It is a signal that he could have been uncomfortable of talking about this. We don't know if he was uncomfortable about recalling the moment or talking about the moment, but it could be a signal of being uncomfortable.
He wanted me to hit him back, but I chose not to.
So he claims again that William wanted him to hit back, but he chose not to. But notice what happens right at the end again when the screen is fading. I had to light this a bit so you can see that his lips are in this expression called against each other. They are tense. There's covert anger in there. He might be talking about taking the high road to choose not to hit William, but he is displaying anger right now. This tells me that he's actually angry about William. His anger on William is real. Now let's see what happens when Bradby mentions the drugs.
There's a fair amount of drugs, marijuana, magic mushrooms, cocaine. I mean, that's going to surprise people.
But important to acknowledge.
Bradby says that that's going to surprise people, and, well, I think this is the opposite. We were going to be surprised if that was not the case. You notice when Harry says, important to acknowledge that the drugs existed in the first place, he is denying with his head. He doesn't want to acknowledge that. He doesn't want to talk about it. In fact, that is a direct contradiction to whatever he said on the Netflix documentary, that all these stories about drug use were exaggerations, and, well, he is acknowledging them even if he doesn't want to.
To acknowledge. I want reconciliation, but first there needs to be some accountability.
Two things here. He claims that he wants reconciliation, but notice that he has a single shoulder shrug. He's not so sure about that. I don't think he wants actual reconciliation. I don't think he wants to go anywhere near the UK again or his family again. And he does it not once, but twice. He does it again right now. And notice that in this answer, different from his previous answer, he answers raising his chin. There, his chin is raised, a bit arrogant, a bit defiant. And in fact, he says that reconciliations has to come with some accountability. Accountability from whom? From the royal family, from William, from his father. This is the way of realizing that Spare was an actual attack on the royal family and especially on William. And he demands some kind of accountability from him, which, well, it's not gonna happen.
The truth, supposedly at the moment, has been there's only one side to this story, right? But there's two sides to every story.
He claims that the truth, supposedly at the moment, has been there's only one side to this story. Yeah, but didn't you remember that the royal family is about never explain, never complain? There's no side of the story from them. He claims that the side of the story of the royal family or Buckingham Palace is the same that is reflected on the media. And the Buckingham Palace is the people that plant those conversations, those headlines, those fake news on the media. Those are his claims. That's what he said on the Anderson Cooper interview. But at the same time, when he says that, he is pretty insecure because he is not only raising his shoulder like this, but also lowering his chin towards his chest. And he's almost like looking to one side. You notice that is the, I'm going to try to mimic his posture right there. Yeah, he's quite defensive. He's trying to, hey, I don't want to talk about this. I'm not comfortable with this. I don't want the retaliation that comes from this. And I want you to pay close attention to this micro expression from his mouth. You're going to see only one tiny shadow changing on his cheek due to all the illumination. You're going to see it here. I made a zoom so you could see it better. There it goes. You're going to spot this part of his mouth and his left cheek right here. There it goes. There is right there. There's contempt. There's serious and then there's contempt smile. Serious here and then the contempt smile right there. It's just a tiny bit of contempt, but that is what he feels towards his family that he keeps on calling the family. Now, my question is, this covert anger, this hate that he feels towards his family, has it been all the time like this? Because I don't know, there are so many pictures of him with William and Catherine that, well, things seem like they were working, especially all those pictures before 2016, if you know what I mean. I would like to make sense of all that he's saying and all these strong emotions that he's showing at this point of his life. When the day began, if they manifested in some way before all this and before 2016, and why is this going on right now? I don't want to take any responsibility or agency from Harry, you know that, but well, it's a legit question. Why didn't this manifest before? I would like to know what do you think about this in the comments. My Body Language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language guy, and remember, much love and bliss.